Carbonite Cold Open question of the week, Nem.
Let's get at it, man.
On November 24th, Galaxy of Heroes released 9 years ago. In that time, what has been your favorite period of the game?
Ooh. I'm going to go all the way back to my first arena team, the I'm a Gundai.
Oh, you were
That era.
rolling the Jedi counter team.
Oh, yeah, I loved that team. That was my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think back to periods in the game that I really enjoyed, and I sort of harken back to metas of like Wigs and Shays and Rexy meta. Like after that, then we had Treya and GK in there as well. And I think the moment we hit sort of like Revan was when the game sort of was on a different level. It became definitely more pay to win at that point.
Well, and it became more of there's a true defined meta instead of you can kind of do 5 or 6 different teams and have everything be competitive.
Yeah, simpler times back then, and maybe a little bit more fun with the theory crafting. But, it's still a fun game today, and 9 years, man. That's just crazy how time moves.
Yeah, it's insane to think that we're coming up on a decade in a year from now. So, I remember when this game first came out, and I'm honestly kind of shocked it's still going.
It's going pretty good, too. All right, everybody. Well, we've got a lot to discuss. We've got crazy, insane LSBs dropping that have been data mined. We've got the Make Good package sent out incorrectly. We have Hera's kit and the final requirement for Galactic legend Ahsoka Tano. Hope everybody had a great holiday week. Stick around and let's start the show.
Ignite your passion and embrace the glow of the Holotables.
This is it!
Broadcasting live just beyond the Dune Sea, we join the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, Urzatron.
Hello, what have we here?
Welcome to Love on the Holotables, an absolutely unremarkable yet ridiculous Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
It's a trap!
It's time to lock those S-foils in a chill position and head on down to the big Holotable for all the latest action.
This is Red 5, I'm going in.
Well, howdy-ho, and a big hello from me to you. My name is Urz, and I'd like to welcome you all back to Love on the Holotables. And today we are joined by a very special guest. Some might say the most special guest, because he's a large reason why my hall, my community, is still going strong in 2025. He is the all-time hall boy, the MVP. Nem, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's good, man. It's good. It's good to get a community guy that's been a steadfast, just lord of this hall for many moons on the podcast. You're the first one from the community, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. I'm doing great.
And I wanted to say thank you for making me the first community member on your podcast here. I'm honored to be it.
Oh, God. You guys don't know this man. He is a former Kraken. Used to be big on Cubs' stream as well, my stream. You guys have certainly seen him around. He has taken care of me, and he's taken care of the Holotables, and we love him dearly for that.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we're going to jump into the news, and man, we've got a lot of news to cover, so let's just get right to it. The first bit here is the Galactic Rush light speed bundles hitting the tables. I don't know if you've looked at Reddit yet on this, but they have data mined some screenshots showing a Relic 1 Enoch for $61.74. And then for that same price, you can get a Relic 1 Night Trooper as well in a separate pack. So looks like they're selling some requirements for Ahsoka here. Thoughts, Nem? Have you seen this yet?
I have seen it. Personally, even in my Kraken days, I wouldn't buy them.
Now, would you not buy them because you probably already have this stuff from Marquise, or just...
Well, yeah, I mean, I would. But even if I didn't, I probably still wouldn't buy it, just because unless they're going to change the cadence of a GL event to be a timed event, there's no real rush on it. You can do it whenever you want.
Oh, yeah. And it's interesting, right? Like, if this is not a pack for Krakens, to be clear, because Krakens would have already had this stuff through Marquee. So this is someone on the fringe, on the edge, right? And the in-between.
Yeah, and I think it's an odd price for only Relic 1. If it was maybe $60 and it was Relic 3 or 5, it might be worth it because of what it would save you in basically the Relic mats. But really, these characters have all been farmable now, so I assume if you were node farming them since they went farmable, you'd have them probably at 6 stars anyway right now. So really, um, is it worth it? For this type of money, I don't think it's worth Relic 1.
Yeah, the Relic one was an odd choice. I had to kind of like read it twice. I was like, "Is that really say Relic one?" And then I kind of scanned the thread on Reddit, and it was like, "Yeah, this is Relic one." I'm like, that just seems like when you're getting Cam. What was the Cam bundle? Cam came at like Relic 5, right? Like,
Yeah, I think Cam was Relic
and
5.
he was $25, and
Mhm.
he's hard to get. And someone brought that point up on Reddit. Cam is a much harder unit to get than this. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess they're testing the waters with this sort of stuff. I mean, if I needed one of these in a pinch and I had somehow just did not allocate the resources to farm it, and I was going for GLAT, Galactic Legend Ahsoka, then maybe this would make sense if I was really in a pinch. But I don't know who's buying this.
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense if you're trying to do it for a panic farm, but once again, it's a GL event. They never close.
Yeah,
So I mean, and even if you do buy it, yeah, you get it at Relic 1, but if you don't have those Relic materials available, you're still at least a week or 2 out before you're able to get them to whatever it is. I think there's 7 for the requirement,
yeah,
either
something like
5 or
that.
7. So,
Yep.
like, it
Yeah.
it makes no sense, and it seems like it's a really overpriced pack for what it is.
Yeah, I would agree with this. All right, all right. Let's move on here. We've got Plo as the final requirements for Galactic Legend Ahsoka at Relic 8. Not a huge surprise. I think a lot of people predicted Plo would be in the requirement set, and most. What is his relic level where he's viable as a counter in ship fleets and in ship meta? It's Relic 8, right? He gets some sort of bump at Relic 8. Um,
Well, you get speed increases on your ship with
yeah.
relic levels. So I mean, Relic 8 probably not super necessary. But yeah, I mean, it'll make your negotiator a little bit better because your Plo ship will be a little bit faster.
Yeah, so I guess it's not the worst if you already had him at Relic 8 for your negotiator counter. Maybe it's an easy layup, but I think most people were expecting this. Are you going for Galactic Legend Ahsoka, or is this going to be a slow farm for you?
I'm currently working on 3 farms at the same time. So I'm farming up shards right now for what is it? Mandalore Bow, Jar Jar, and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think I have all of the ones for Bow except for the relic levels. Um, for Jar Jar, there's one more I need to get to 7 star, and then for Ahsoka, I need what is it? Peridia and Night Trooper, both the 7 star.
Yeah,
But then after that, it's the grind of gear.
yeah.
So
Always never ending. Okay, okay. So probably not a day one for you, I would imagine, unless you decide to crack it up a little bit.
no, no, and this will be the first Galactic Legend released since the first two, that I will not get an unlock and ultimate on day one while I've been in game.
Now, for full disclosure, you took a year off, or more than a year? Was it 2 years?
I took just shy of 2 years off. I think I was around 650-ish days whenever I came back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep going with the news here. Merrick shards are now farmable on light side 8A hard node. You already got Merrick. I already got Merrick. We both did Balin, right?
Yeah, and I actually have that entire trio at R8.
Yeah. Okay. And then Padawan Sabine is now farmable and now available in Chromium packs and shipments. General Syndulla event starts tomorrow, which is Tuesday. We're recording this on Monday night. Are you going to be whaling for General Syndulla?
Probably buy the whatever the 16,000 crystal pack
The
is.
big pack, yeah.
Yeah, and see what comes out of it and see where I fall from there. Um, I will say, since returning, I do like the cadence of their marquee events now being replayable,
Yeah, it's
so that
nice.
you can just continue to get the shards. You don't have to sit there and spend $50 in crystal packs to try to get them the 7 stars. Once you get them to that 10 of 100, you're good to go as long as you do the event every day. So I thought that was a positive change whenever I came back.
Yeah, they had explained that to me a couple times when we were doing the Shin Merrick and other stuff. So, yeah, I find that change quite nice. And I think it's what, like 150 is what we're getting out on marquees for right now. Is that right?
What do you mean?
Like
150?
$150 for a marquee generally.
Um, yeah, I'd say roughly around there, because if you do the 15 pack or whatever that is, usually get you up around high fives, low 6 star. So maybe the 15 and the 5 pack or whatever that is, and that should get you pretty close.
And then we got our make good packages today. Did you get your make good package today?
I got their make good that might end up having a make good.
Yeah, like so the make good, it should have been experience points they gave us, I believe, and they gave us the currency instead. So I basically go ahead. Sorry.
It was supposed to be whatever that 28,000 some as the experience along the episode pass.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, well, let me go dump all my currency right now. I went and dumped all my currency, whatever I could get, got some Inquisitor stuff, got some gear, and then immediately claimed that. I'm like, I don't think that's right, but I'm going to claim that. I'm pretty sure they did this wrong. But, it's confusing, like the currency and the numbers and sort of how they referred to all that stuff. We read the update live, and this was maybe an episode or two ago on Love on the Holotables, and I even was confused reading it. So I just think the way they worded it was a little confusing, and maybe the person who actually put that together was confused as well.
Well, and I think it also doesn't help now that there's so many different calculable different things between XP, currencies, energies, all this, like everything within it. It's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah, and then looks like how we kind of use the terms tickets, energy, and currency. Like, oh man, that's a lot to understand. And then this kind of goes back to my grand thing that I always harp on with this game is just imagine this is a new player. Imagine starting day one trying to understand like what is actually happening. Like they're marketing Darkside Ray right now as like an obtainable thing. It's like, are you kidding me? You're not going to get Darkside Ray unless you're like, I don't know. I don't even know what that would take. So it's just sort of silly.
Well, didn't someone say in a stream one time that they were marketing Darth Bane on it? And it's like, bro, you're not getting that either.
I know. I just think that whoever they're farming out their marketing to has no idea, and no one's checking it. It's just sort of silly. I don't know. So yeah, the make good came out, and it was in our favor. So claim it if you haven't. I don't think they can retract it now because so many people have probably claimed it already. And then we have the community milestone event part 2, where it's you spend Conquest energy. And if the community spends enough energy, we get 20 Darkside Ray shards, 20 Malakos shards, 20 Moff Gideon shards, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, it looks like, and 20 of the Fury class interceptor blueprints. So, and some Conquest credits, 400 of those. So, are you familiar with this, Nem?
I am, but I haven't seen where we stand on it yet. I think the last I saw was around Thursday or Friday last week. Maybe someone posted we were around level 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we're at level 4 right now. We're like halfway through. So I think we are getting shards at this point of all these guys. But I don't know. Like part of me is just like, they can do stuff like this and have the bandwidth and energy to create these graphics and update this post. Or what people would really just like is just like a thank you, Like, imagine if they just paid this out and just say like, hey, once a month, we appreciate you. Here you go. It's just like if they're going to do it and they're going to end up paying this out and the goal was attainable, and maybe this drives engagement with the game. I don't know. Like, I'm going to do my Conquest, and I'm sure you're just going to do your Conquest the same as you would. It's not really driving more engagement. So,
Yeah, I would think that if they were to just give shards away like randomly once a month in that kind of way, that would actually drive engagement up because then you would have people going, oh, well, I'm getting a free 20 shards. That means, I can really push this month. And even if I get the gold box and if I buy the $30 pass, now all of a sudden there's an extra 20 shards on top of the 20 they were giving me. I stand the chance to get her.
Yeah. And that's, it's just like, and, to see stuff like this, it's just like, it feels contrived a little bit. It's like, well, we're either going to get there or we're not. And they already knew the result, right? But if you just get this randomly on a day and you just log in and you're just like, oh, well, that's awesome. That feels good, man. That's a feel good thing. So maybe they should rethink this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with it if this is the way that you got to get it done.
Yeah. I mean,
But it'd be a nice goodwill gesture, especially after some of the backlash coming out over the episodes and everything like that, and the passes and all that. But I'll take free shards if they want to give me free shards whenever, especially of top tier characters.
Yeah, and I'm not. I just want to be very clear. I'm not complaining about this. I just think that like if you're going to give away the shards, just make it easy on yourself. And I don't think the community really cares about like this challenge thing. They're going to do what they're going to do. So just make it easy on yourself if you want to do some goodwill stuff. Like this feels unnecessary.
And especially with when the Conquest ends for this. In all fairness, they could have just waited 2 weeks and said, here's a Christmas gift for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I love that they're doing this, but just make it easy on yourself. And they used to do stuff like that all the time in the early days, but a little bit different now, I guess. Capital Ship Fleet Masteries. You don't have this problem because you get all the fleets, I believe. But I certainly am rounding out my fleets right now. If you didn't see this, they're basically making the events for Finalizer, Radis, Executrix, Home One, Endurance available on the daily. And they also put Shard Shop currency in the shipments as well. So you can get shards for those through the Shard Shop. And I don't know, this is an awesome change because I'm like years behind in ships. And to be able to get this stuff every day, Finalizer and Radis, just to do the event once a day, like it's going to be done in no time. So a much needed change for mid game players that didn't take ships seriously.
Yeah, it's good in order to get those capital ships now. If only they would give us enough ships for fleets to surround them.
Always the challenge with fleets, right, Dan?
I'm okay with the capital ships that we have. But I'm tired of trying to run a first order fleet with 5 or separatist with 5. I have 7 spots available. Try to give me 7 spots of ships that kind of at least make sense to the capital.
Yeah, what's really funny as a mid game player that is getting all that stuff right now. It's just like, well, they've come out with the Star Fortress and they've come out with Comeuppance. And they're not even part of the requirements. They're not even considered as part of the requirements. At least I don't think they are. But what's interesting is like the Ebon Hawk is required for like one of those. And it's just like, that has nothing to do with anything other than we just needed a requirement. We needed a hoop at one point in time. It just feels sort of silly. It's like, I don't know. So yeah, to your point, I absolutely agree.
It's weird the way that they do ships, and I wish there was more rhyme or reason to it, but it's just throwing stuff at a wall and hoping that it sticks.
Well, you know what the problem they had is someone made the decision somewhere along the way to incorporate pilots. And I know not every ship takes a pilot, But they made that decision to add that additional hoop for like the power level of the ship. And when you made that additional decision, suddenly you sort of limit yourself and really what you can do and like sort of how the scaling and the balance of all that stuff works. And I don't know. I just think it would have been so much cleaner if they just treated ships as its own thing. Like you get a B wing, you get an A wing, and you know they work with rebel fleets. And maybe if you wanted to do the character thing, you just did it with the capital ship. But
I'm actually going to disagree with that. I don't think the issue was that they had pilots. I think the issue is whenever they started releasing pilotless ships.
well,
Because they on release, they all had their own pilot.
they did. I believe you're right.
They did.
What was the first pilotless ship?
Was it I think it was BTL.
BTL. Yeah, good memory. That
I
is.
think BTL was the first one.
Yeah. No, because wasn't Vulture Droid and Hyena before BTL?
Could be.
But
Whatever it was,
I feel
it was
like
something
BTL.
Clone
Yeah,
Wars era.
yeah. I feel like you're right with BTL though. I don't know.
But either way, that's whenever it kind of broke the ships because without a pilot, there's no real stat adjustments that you can do on the ship. Once you get it to max, that's it. You can't really make the ship any better like you can with a pilot.
Right.
Because you can always make the pilot better until you get the pilot to R9 with all Zetas and all maxed out 6 mods. You can keep making that ship a little bit better somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how they fix ships at this point. It just seems like everything feels like an afterthought, and it's always kind of felt that way. And which is wild though, because there's actual currency crystals tied up in all that. So you think for having crystals in there, they would have a better idea of what ships needs to be.
You know how they can fix ships?
How?
Give me red 5.
That just becomes is that a lifter? Is that an entirely new fleet?
It could be a lifter. I mean, we have 2 rebel capital ships between Home 1 and Profundity, so plenty of space for it. Use it with whatever that weird hawk looking one is that they gave for Home 1. Use it there.
Yeah.
You could use it where you pull any of the X-wings. So Biggs, Wedge, Red 5 can all be with Home 1. Works perfectly lore wise.
All right, let's head on over to assault battles. After much of the groaning from the community, they listened and they changed their cadence around assault battles. So all 9 of them will be coming in December. Each assault battle will take turns on the first 4 Wednesdays and Saturdays of the month, with an additional assault battle on the first Monday of every month. So they have a cadence sort of in place. This means they're bringing back old assault battles that people were sort of upset about them getting rid of and replacing them with new ones. And they said that they're sort of monitoring the schedule and they'll adjust accordingly as they get new ones. But right now they have just enough for this cadence right here. Good news from CG, yeah?
Yeah, you know what? That's a round of applause for CG right there.
Yeah.
That is a good job listening to your community. Even if it's something that most people sit there and just hit the sim button on, it's still rewards and it's still materials that people need, even on the older ones. So it's great that they listened to the community and brought back all the original assault battles.
Yeah, I'm excited because that was definitely impacting me, and I was upset that they got rid of the old stuff because as a mid game player, you can clear all that, and it's important to not lose resources.
I mean, look, my main account is 11.6 mil, and I still need the stuff that comes out of those assault battles. So, you know, bravo to them to listen to the community.
All right, let's take a look at the kit here. It's the kit reveal for General Syndulla Oblongata. What's Oblongata? Is that her name?
No, I think that's a joke to the the Waterboy movie whenever they talk about his medulla oblongata
Oh, I got it.
with Colonel Sanders.
What? They had a water boy joke in this kid.
Yeah,
Okay.
Meathead likes to put a lot of really weird old movie well, not really old, but old for some people movie
I
references.
had no idea. Okay, that's kind of fun. All right, we have
Now,
General.
before you get into this kit, there's something I want you to read
Okay.
because it's important whenever we get into this kit later. There is a question in the FAQ that says, why does Zeb not get the Spectre tag? And I want you to go through that real quick.
Okay, why does Zeb not get the Spectre tag? While definitely part of Hera's original Spectre Rebel cell, Zeb's status with her and the rest of the squad during this time period is unknown. Additionally, Phoenix Zeb wasn't someone we wanted to include in either her or Ahsoka Tano's squad. Okay, so they're saying no Zeb.
Yeah, so it makes sense, their reasoning why they didn't want to get him the Spectre tag, but it is that last sentence of Phoenix Zeb wasn't someone we wanted to include in either her or Ahsoka Tano's squad. That will be key whenever we get into this kit.
All right, all right. So we have General Syndulla, light side, leader, support, and Spectre. Obviously going to be going with Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano. The basic here is the Blurg 1120 holdout blaster. Deal physical damage to target enemy. If the enemy is buffed, call another random Spectre ally to assist and dispel all buffs on that target enemy. So I think you mentioned to me off stream that this was great for clearing a taunt. That seems pretty awesome. And then we're not done here. On Hera's turn, call a random light side droid ally to assist, dealing 5% more damage for each active Spectre ally.
Yeah, so I mean the dispel is great. You always love it whenever you can get rid of a taunt, especially a particularly pesky one. And then the light side droid assist, you have to assume it's either going to be Hu Yang or Chopper.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, I like it as a basic.
Yeah. And it looks like you're getting 2 call and assists possibly if it's her turn.
Mhm.
1 if the enemy's buffed, then you get a random Spectre ally, and then if it's her turn, you get the droid on the assist. So 2 call and assist there, pretty strong for a basic. Okay, special one here, pulling rank, a 3-turn cooldown. Dispel all debuffs on target Spectre ally, and they gain defense up and tenacity up for 2 turns. Target ally gains 10% offense and 10 speed for 1 turn, and an additional 10% offense and 10 speed for each debuff dispelled this way. Then inflict blind on target enemy at the end of their next turn for 2 turns. Okay. A lot going on here, but it looks like we're just ramping some stats and a lot of tenacity up on this team. This looks pretty good. Oh, shoot, we're not done. There's more stuff here. Spectre allies who have defense up and tenacity up, dispel them and gain perfect defense for 2 turns, which can't be copied. Perfect defense is plus 200% defense, resist detrimental effects, immune to defense up and tenacity up. Okay, that's a lot. You thoughts?
Yeah. You know, I've been trying to think of squads that this would be really good to use against. And you know, the one that kind of comes to the top of my head is like a Darth Revan squad. Just because they're so they're so debuff heavy.
Yeah.
So like them or Inquisitorius would be, I think, great to use this against because, you know, once you have all those debuffs, 10 speed for each one dispelled that way until their next turn. I mean, in some of those cases, that could be an easy extra 100 speed.
Yeah, and then stuff like Lord Vader with like the dots. Are his dots dispellable? Do you remember? Or are they locked?
I believe they are dispellable until he is in his ultimate. Whenever he does the
Right.
AoE in his ultimate, those and the days are not dispellable, but all the other ones are normally.
Okay. And then the perfect defense plus 200% defense. This is going to be this is going to be a pain in the ass. Like,
And resist detrimental effects. Yeah. It's basically going to make for 2 turns anybody with that perfect defense undebuffable.
this is going to be And, it's like I always say the thing, like every time we read a kid, I'm like, how can anything beat this? Well, I guess we'll find out what beats it. Okay, special number 2. I'm not just going to stand around a 5-turn cooldown with the Zeta. Deal true damage to all enemies. Remove 50% turn meter from all enemies with 50% or more turn meter. Dispel fracture from all enemies and inflict the target enemy with fracture until each other enemy has taken 1 turn or they are defeated, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. If the target enemy has no other active ally, inflict fracture until General Syndulla takes her next turn. The strongest ally tank taunts and gains protection up 50% for 2 turns. So she can provide fracture? This is kind of wild.
Well, she cleanses all of the fracture and then she puts it on whoever she wants.
So this is the second time we're seeing fracture come out. This is interesting that they brought it back.
Well, and the way that this is worded is it seems like it will punish any squads where you have a purposeful slow character.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm thinking, General Grievous is a great example. You don't need speed on B2 and you don't need and most people don't put speed on Droidica because the difference between like the speed somewhere ramps damage. So having a slow character is now all of a sudden going to mean it's that much longer that character's fractured.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome, I think. Okay,
and especially considering this removes 50% turn meter from anybody that's at 50 or above.
Yes.
So not only do you have to go through every enemy taking a turn, but they have to re-ramp their turn meter before they actually get to go again.
Like, I just wonder, right? Like, it just seems so weird that Fracture's here. Like, it's got to be like we're the next Galactic Legend we're going to get is Thrawn then, because this doesn't really make sense then. Like, Thrawn's going to be the counter to GL Ahsoka, I would imagine. Like that, why would they unearth that ability? It just seems like
you saying Thrawn is a good point. I thought that, but then at the same time, yeah, they had the dichotomy kind of thing with Rey, Kylo, all that, but then these most recent GLs kind of broke that mold because Jabba and then the Leia, but that wasn't the same Leia that
right.
would have been with Jabba. You know what I mean? So like there is a tie, but at the same time, it's not the right tie. So like I think that it's going to be Thrawn as well, but with the way the last one was, who knows? It could go anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we have a unique one here, which is unauthorized mission. It's got a Zeta and an Ami. At the start of each Spectre ally's turn, they gain a 40% defense penetration if they have Exile or Perfect Defense until their turn. Whenever a Spectre ally with Perfect Defense uses a special ability, they'll yield true damage to all enemies, which can't be evaded. Okay, here's what you were talking about. Whenever a Spectre ally or Zeb is taunting, all the other non-taunting Spectre allies and Zeb have 25% defense. Whenever a buff is dispelled from an enemy, Spectre allies and Zeb gain a 15% turn meter. Whenever enemy units have their turn meter manipulated, a random Spectre ally gains defense up and tenacity up for 1 turn. Whenever perfect defense expires on a Spectre ally, they gain benefits based on their role. Attackers, offense up for 2 turns. Tanks, protection up 50% for 2 turns. Supports and healers, speed up for 2 turns. And then, okay, let's just talk about that. Then we'll talk about the bit about territory wars here. This is probably the Ami, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that the territory wars part would be Ami, but this is why I had you read that FAQ question.
Yeah, this is so strange.
If you're gonna say that you don't want Zeb in the squad with either Hera or Ahsoka, why are you making an entire unique that is built around a Zeb You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
This just seems like it seems like the kit.
why?
It seems like the kit was done in advance, and they maybe had ideas for Zeb to be in the squad, and maybe they just didn't want people to use Zeb because maybe that detracts from spending. Like I don't know. I don't know what the reason would be.
Or maybe they thought that they would release like the Zeb from the Mandalorian show as a character, but
I
they
mean,
have him listed as Garazeb Zeb Aurelios, which is how he's listed as his Phoenix Squadron name.
yeah,
I don't. It it's so weird to say that you don't want Zeb in the squad, but then you build this entire thing basically putting Zeb in the squad.
yeah. It seems just like lazy at that point. Like,
Hmm.
why didn't they just edit the kit then? Like that makes no sense. They should have just edited the kit. Hey, I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it. Maybe there's more to this story we're going to learn, but that seems really not very well thought out.
Yeah, I wish they would give a better explanation on that because it doesn't
Yeah,
it doesn't mesh
the meathead
somewhat.
explanation sort of feels like a cop out. It's just like, oh well, thematically it doesn't matter. Well, then thematically, then if that's what we're going off of, why is it even in the kit? Yeah,
Right, and that's the issue. Like the reason that you give why he doesn't have the Spectre tag completely makes sense.
right.
And I could understand it, them not giving the Spectre tag if they said we didn't want Zeb to work in the Ahsoka kit. But whenever you say both Ahsoka and Hera, but then build all of this Zeb specific stuff into Hera's kit, it doesn't go
Well,
together at all.
here's the tinfoil hat man explanation for this. That they have an idea that this Zeb is going to be a larger part. Maybe they talked to Lucasfilm and Zeb's going to have a larger role in Ahsoka season 2 in helping getting the crew back together. And maybe they're just building. They built this in advance of that. I don't know. That's the tinfoil hat take.
Yeah, or maybe Zeb will be a part of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons why they could have done this that maybe we just don't have the knowledge of yet.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is because there's a lot of Zeb in Unique and well Leader, but eh,
Well, it
I
really
wish I
doesn't.
understood.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense though because like the Zeb we've seen has been on screen for like 5 seconds. Like that's it.
Mhm.
There's no reason they could make a kid out. I mean, I guess they made Darkseid Ray, so I guess nothing's out of bounds. But I don't
Well,
know.
and that's the thing. If you're going to start putting Zeb into this, just make it a full Phoenix. It's not like Phoenix is such a tag that there's 40 of them like Rebels.
Rivals, yeah,
There's literally 7 of them.
yeah.
So what does it even matter?
Unless they just they didn't want to test it. They didn't want to test all the different variances of what a Phoenix, Spectre team could be.
We all know that the player base is the beta testers.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're not even done with this unique here. We have a territory wars portion that's going to be the Ami. Spectre allies and Zeb have plus 100% counter chance and potency. Whenever a Spectre ally or Zeb recovers health, other Spectre allies and Zeb recover half that amount at the end of their turn. Whenever a Spectre ally or Zeb attacks out of turn, they remove 15% turn meter from target enemy, excluding Galactic Legends. The first time a Spectre ally or Zeb loses all their protection, they recover 50% protection. Whenever a Spectre ally or Zeb is stunned, they dispel them and inflict buff immunity and healing immunity for 1 turn on all enemies. This seems pretty nuts.
Yeah, it seems pretty broken.
I mean,
Because you have 100% counter chance, but every time a Spectre or Zeb attack out a turn, they remove 15% turn meter from the target enemy.
yep.
So
And then you have
that's
this,
insane.
you have this protection on top of it.
Mhm.
The buff immunity and healing immunity going out on all enemies. This is going to be busted, dude. But that's how they make.
And they can't be stunned either.
Yeah, this is how they make TW interesting, right? They just do stuff like
Yeah.
this because it's really they just make crazy broken stuff that people can make walls with. And that's how
Yeah,
go ahead.
It really seems like that's how they want to try to shake up TW is with busted Omis like this one.
Yeah. Well, we TW a little bit in the Chromium Cowboys, but not at the extent like if Gauntlet guilds or anything like that. So, yeah, you guys have fun with that, and maybe we'll get it when we get it. All right. Final text on the leader ability here, the last bit of the kit. At the start of battle, Spectre allies and Zeb gain 50% max health and max protection and 150 speed for 1 turn. Okay, that's interesting. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that sort of bump. On their turn, Spectre allies can ignore taunt to target an enemy with exile or fracture. At the start of each Spectre ally and Zeb's turn, they gain offense equal to 50% of their defense until the end of their turn. So this is, if we go back over here, we've got that perfect defense at 200%. Oh my goodness. I see it all coming together now.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see here. Enemies with exile and off balance deal 20% less damage. Off balance is the Sabine ability. If an enemy with fracture is defeated, remove 100% turn meter from all enemies, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever a Spectre ally deals multiple instances of damage on their turn, they inflict 6 stacks of damage over time to target enemy for 1 turn. The first time a Spectre ally or Zeb's health is reduced to 30%, they recover 50% health and protection. The first time a Spectre ally or Zeb's health reaches 1%, they dispel all debuffs on themselves, gain damage immunity for 1 turn, take a bonus turn, and gain 100% offense on their next turn. If an enemy is defeated in this turn, that ally recovers 50% health and protection. Otherwise, that ally is defeated. I mean,
Yeah. And I think the insane thing to me is this isn't even showing as a Zeta.
oh really?
It doesn't list Zeta
That's
besides
got to
the
be a
leader.
typo. That's too like.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Normally it does. Like it says Zeta for the uniques and everything else on it, and this one does not say Zeta. So that might just be an Omega ability leader, which is broken if that's an Omega.
Okay, well, let me just walk through the logic on why they'd even make such a ridiculous leader ability if Galactic Legend Ahsoka is going to be the leader. Like, why? Like, we're all assuming she's going to be the leader. So why would they go through the trouble of making this super intense and almost convoluted leader ability for Hera?
Well, I think they actually answered that in the FAQ. Let me see if I can pull it up. Is she a leader? Of course, we recognize not every player will be able to get Galactic Legend for Ahsoka Tano right away, so we wanted to have a home for the Spectre characters you have been collecting.
Okay.
So at least that makes sense. But yeah, that seems like a pretty busted leader for just a marquee character.
Right. It seems totally ridiculous.
Like if it was a legendary, like even an R3 requirement legendary, cool. That makes sense. This is just a marquee character. And that is an insane leader ability.
Yeah, I guess if she's far and away the hardest GL to get, I guess it would make sense that you have a temporary leader ability. But I mean, the team already does so much. Do they really have to make it this good? I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems like they could have just said all Spectre allies gain 200% offense. It would have been fine because they all do so much. I don't know, but whatever. That's swgoh kits in 2024. All right, let's turn the page here. That's a lot of kit talk. Apologies for that, but it is what it is. All right, let's jump back over here. And we're going to do quickly a Conquest recap. Nem, how is your Conquest going? Do you love it?
Red crated today.
Are you serious? I'm so
Yeah.
far out, man. And I've been working it. How many refreshes are you going every day?
0.
0 refreshes, and you red crated today. What is your?
Well, wait. Let me clarify. It's because I bought the Galactic Ascension.
Okay, well that makes a lot more sense.
So I had almost 6,000 Conquest energy for me right before the event even started.
Oh, okay. That's going to help. Okay, I feel a little bit better now. What is your disc sort of situation? What was your main strat going in this one? No volatile accelerator?
Yeah, no volatile accelerator. I did still pretty much the same sort of stuff. I figured though with this one, it would be good to get a good split. So get ones that will be more on the side of quick kills, and then another side that is more health and protection. So like
Okay.
I got a bunch of vitalities, so that once you start getting down to that nitty gritty and you need win 10 battles with um, Elsbeth surviving, you have how much extra health and protection on her because you've stacked those discs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
One I didn't get that I wished I would have was the evasion disc. But I found kind of a cheese for it that worked. In fact, Great Mothers worked perfectly for it with Elsbeth because there was so much foresight that the enemy just evaded everything.
Oh, okay. I'll have to ask you about that offline because like I'm in Sector 4 right now, and I'm like halfway through Sector 4, and I've been amazing. We did my teams on stream, as you remember, and I've been mainly sticking to my teams and doing stuff, but it's definitely getting challenging for some of these things, like getting like the Death Trooper Peridia to survive when he's just like at nothing. And there's one where I got to use like Scout Trooper to get some like accuracy down or something like that. Like that's all very tough because I don't have that. I have those guys at lower levels, so. I'm just sort of focused on just getting the bulk of the tables done, and then trying to get the nitty gritty stuff.
I will say that it does seem like there's a lot of feats, both global and sector specific, where you can combine them into multiple different ones. So like I think it might be Sector 4 that you're working on. It's a win with Jin surviving.
Yep.
And then there's another one that is win with just having Night Trooper and I think Enoch on the squad. If you have the right data discs, you can pretty much just cheese that with Lord Vader,
Okay.
and you can work both of those feats at the same time. I mean, that's what I did.
Yeah, there's a few overlaps with those. There's one that's like with Dark Side Unaligned Force users as well.
Mhm.
You can use Shin for that, and then yeah. Well,
You have a global feat for I think Shin and Merrick,
yep.
and then I think there's a global feat for something Night Sister related. So like you're able to, as you go through the sectors, for the most part, with the exception of maybe the Galactic Republic one, most of those you don't even need to worry about because if you're doing the sector feats, you're you're able to get the globals just along with it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. And yeah, I feel like I did better planning this time, but my planning still needs a little bit of work just because my roster isn't quite there yet. I'm hopeful the red crate. I mean, I'm going to be real. I bought the baby pass, and it's certainly helped with like switching some data discs out and just like recovering stamina a bit faster. But I'm feeling the pressure. I think we have like 6 days left, 5 days left, and I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to get this done. So we will see. It's going to get easier for me as I go, but man, it's
Well, as a shameless plug, which day are you going to be streaming some Conquest?
I think we're going to be streaming Conquest maybe a little on Wednesday night after GAC, so maybe we can crack some stuff out together.
All right, everybody listening, come to Twitch.
There you go. Appreciate that, Nev. Get him over here. No. All right, let's go on to their next segment here. It's community mailbag. This question comes in from our very own Holopoint. I believe Holopoint's an officer in the Erodium Acolytes. Shout out to the Acolytes. Let me know if you need a guild. Dear Nem, there is no question that CG has been generous lately with the Lightspeed bundles and the way they are making marquee characters easily attainable. Could this be a sign that swgoh is reaching its end-of-life cycle?
That's a really good question. And I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say that is because before this character came out, what was the character, and maybe you remember this, what was the character everyone said, once it comes out, that's the end of the game?
Oh, I don't. It was probably like Lord Vader. Didn't Lord Vader have that? I'm trying to remember.
It was Jedi Knight Luke.
Oh yes,
Because
yes,
everybody said once we
yes. It
get
was.
a return Luke, that's the character everybody's gonna want. Once he comes out, the game is over. There's nothing else that they're gonna be able to release afterwards that anybody's gonna want after that. Here we are, how many years later? So, I don't think that it's not the end of the game. It's their way to monetize characters that people aren't farming.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are one of those mid-game players that might not necessarily have been here whenever the first Galactic Legends came out, odds are you might not have farmed them. It's a perfect time for that bundle.
Yeah,
You can spend the $30 or $50 or whatever it is on the first order one, and you're 2 characters away from getting
$10 now. $10
Flicker.
for first order.
Is that all it was?
Yeah, it was insane.
Well, then that's even better. But yeah, I think it is a way for them to cash in on the older characters that are still. It gets you a Galactic Legend, but it's not the newest one.
Yeah,
So they're able to make their money, and you're able to get the Galactic Legend. So I think they looked at it more as a symbiotic kind of thing than anything else.
yeah, and I think this time next year we'll have like a executor, Lightspeed bundle that'll get you close on that, and that'll have been out for a few years, and then a few years later we'll have a profundity one. Like, yeah, I think it's all just gonna. They probably have some sort of like internal calendar that says, okay, what are our next Lightspeed bundles here, and then
Yeah,
they'll just
I'm
bring
sure
back
we'll
the old
eventually
ones.
get ones. Yeah, I'm sure we'll eventually get ones for JML, C, that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, to me, I don't see those Lightspeed bundles as a way that to show the game is ending. I think they look at it more as we're selling you old characters that you can get at a relic level and save yourself the farm and the gear and the relics.
Well, what I'll tell you what they are. They are the ultimate catch-up mechanic because I love them. I'm a returning player. I've I purchase every single one of them, and they're feel good all the way, man. It allows me to compete in the game and allows me to fill an entire faction that I didn't have. Like it's really good stuff. So I love everything about them, and I don't think they're the end of the game. I think they're just catch-up mechanics.
Yeah, I think in terms of catch up, it's a real double-edged sword the way that CG has been operating recently because they have been really good with building in things for catch up for mid-game or newer players. Um, but they broaden the gap between the newest things when it comes to spenders and free to play.
Yeah.
So it's kind of they're trying to bring up everybody while also trying to hold everybody back so that there's I think they're like trying to find what would be their sweet spot for where the community should be, just as an overall.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think we're on the same page. It doesn't signal the end of the game's life. I sort of hear our friend Davey in my head every time we talk about the end of life here. Every time they make a character in actual Star Wars, and we both watched Skeleton Crew tonight, which, spoiler-free, quick review, Nem. What do you think of Skeleton Crew?
Wasn't sold on it after episode 1, but episode 2, I kind of liked it.
I kind of
I
liked it
kind of
too.
liked it.
I kind of liked it too. It's telling a good story so far. Characters are all fun. We might be back? Question mark. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like.
I think 2 episodes is a little too soon to tell. Let's see what happens after maybe episodes 3, 4, and 5 to make that full decision. But yeah, it's looking like it could be back. It was a good start for it.
It was a good start for it. And there's like one character, I'm not going to spoil anything, has a moment in episode 2. I was all about it. I'm like, get me that. Get me that in swgoh right now. I'm going to need that. And yeah, it's pretty dope. So yeah, so back to my original point though, is like every time we get a new show, all they need is one of these shows to hit, and for Star Wars like Mandalorian did, and for Star Wars to get back on track and get the general audience back. And you know, that's an infinite money glitch because they're just cranking out characters. They're never going to stop cranking out characters. If we can get Darkseid Rey in the game, we can get anything in the game. So I don't think it's ever going to end, man.
But I feel like the 4 main characters from this show you probably won't get in the game.
Omega's in the game.
Yeah, I guess. But I think people looked at Omega differently than the way that they will look at these kids, since this is live action versus animated.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, Nim.
Like if you think about it, you really don't have a Grogu unit.
You've got 3 of them.
But not as himself.
Okay.
He is with something else in every single one of them.
Well, you got to just wait for Galactic Legend Roku and the Mandalorian movie, bro.
I'm sure it's coming.
It's coming, so you know. He shrugs.
It's coming. Get your Bo-Katan Mandalore Legendary ready at Relic 9 because that's what you're gonna need.
No, it's gonna be Relic 12 by then, brother. So don't think you're getting away with Relic 9.
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
All right, as a reminder, listeners, if you'd like to submit a community mail question, swing on by the Hall Discord and drop the question in the channel titled Community Mailbag. I'll be selecting my favorite question each week, so do please participate. All right, Nem, the time has arrived for a little segment we call Maximum Firepower, where we put our guest in the hot seat and test his mental limits. First, I'll give him 5 swgoh or Star Wars topics, and then Nem will respond with one word that best describes it. We're looking for a rapid fire on this one, Nem. It's the first word that comes to mind. Next, we'll force our guest, Nem, to get controversial and finish a sentence I've started. Lastly, he'll have 1 minute to guess a randomly selected character or unit by asking me a series of yes or no questions. And you can't have the game up, so hands in the air, Nem. Show me the hands.
You're up to 1 minute now on.
We're up to 1 minute on this.
On letting people guess.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna need about 10 to probably get it.
No. I believe, Nem. I believe. Okay. Nem, I must ask you the question. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Target, maximum firepower.
One word response. The Martez sisters.
Docked.
What? No. Number 2, the next Galactic Legend.
Thrawn.
Number 3, my favorite debuff.
Fracture.
Number 4, my favorite buff.
Oh, healing immunity.
That's a buff.
No. Dude. Now you got me flustered. You got me on full tilt, my man. You got me on full tilt.
A buff. And then it doesn't have to be one word because like
yeah, because there's a lot that are more than one word. I'm trying to think of one word buff. Heal over time.
Hot. Okay. Number 5, Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Cooked.
Okay. Number 1, I said the Martez sisters. You said sucked. The Martez sisters sucked. They were products of marketing, I would say. Marketing's like, we need the girl with the broccoli hair and the Judy haircut. Make me 2 characters. Would you agree?
They were racist stereotypes that Hispanic people have to be smugglers and steal spice.
Were they Hispanic? Oh, their last name is Martez. So.
And did you not hear their accents?
Okay, well, there you go. They were mechanics as well, Nam. So there was that too.
Oh, that not helping there either.
All right, number 2, the next Galactic legend. You said Thrawn. We talked about it a little bit earlier, and I would agree with that. I don't think there's any other Galactic legend they can go, especially with all this talk about Fracture. And speaking of your favorite debuff, you said Fracture. Is that really your favorite debuff, or did you?
Yeah, no, I love Fracture. I'm happy that they are putting it into more kits because it is such a fun debuff to me, and I love it.
And your favorite buff is a heal over time? Really?
Yeah, man.
We're going old school here.
Yes, absolutely. I love heal over time.
Little Lumi, a little bit of the hot queen there. All right, good stuff. Uncle Owen and Aunt Peru, I knew we'd get a good answer from you, and you said cooked. I would have also accepted barbecue as well.
I knew that you were going to go with one of those two, so.
All right, finish the sentence here. The character that has made the most impact on my roster within the last year is ...
Ooh. Now wait, are we saying the last year calendar year or the last year that I've played?
The last year you've played because,
All right.
I know you missed some stuff in between.
Then I'm going to go Jabba.
Jabba.
Because technically I quit right after Jabba. Hondo was my last character whenever I had retired the first time. And then I came back, about 3-4 months ago. So within the last year that I've played the game, Jabba for me. Love Jabba.
Now, do you have Darth Bane or do you not have Darth Bane?
I do not have Bane.
Okay. Because that's the one that I hear. He's always the guy that everybody brings up whenever I ask this question.
I'm really looking forward to both Bane and Malicos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those guys as well. Okay, here we go, everybody. I'm going to bring up the clock, and we are going to test our man here. And he will have 1 minute on the clock to ask me yes or no questions and try and guess the unit or character in Galaxy of Heroes. Are you ready, Nam?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. With 1 minute on the clock, guess the character. Go.
Is this light side?
Yes.
Is it a male?
No.
Is it resistance?
No.
Rebel?
No.
Jedi?
Yes.
Is it non-human?
Yes.
Ayla?
No.
Lumi?
No.
Barris?
No.
Jedi Knight Guardian?
No.
Trying to think of another female Jedi that is not human. Oh my.
15 seconds. Think GR.
Snips?
You got it! With 54 seconds, it was Snips, the OG Togruta in the game.
The GR hint is what got me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there was no chance I was getting that one.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, you nailed all the other ones in GR. And I had to throw you a bone.
I appreciate it.
There it is. He joins Calvin Awesome as one of two that have gotten Guess the Holotable Hero correctly. All right. That's great, Nam. I love it. All right, everybody. Well, I'd like to thank you, Nam, for hanging out with me on Love on the Holotables. Always great to have you. Do you have any plugs?
No. Well, my only plug is come hang out with us on Twitch Tuesdays through Fridays.
Oh my gosh. What a hype man.
And thanks for listening to my Pittsburgh accent for like about an hour.
Yeah. I had to It's great, let me tell you. All right, everybody. Well, you can catch me on Twitch 4 times a week, as my man just said, with Performance GAC on Friday nights, the ultimate Grand Arena party. The Hall Alliance is always recruiting. You're talking to a couple Chromium Cowboys right here. Let us know if you need a guild. Follow me on X or come slum it in that squiff hole, better known as the Hall Discord. I'm around. You can find me. That wraps us up this week. Manifesting you all health, happiness, and the most potent drop rates possible. Please do get to your ships safely, and I'll see you out on them holotables. Good night, everyone.
If you enjoyed this episode of Love on the Holotables, be sure to show your support by liking this content and leaving a comment wherever you get your podcasts. Also, consider joining the best Star Wars community at discord.gg/urs or attending a Hall livestream at twitch.tv/urs. Thank you, and remember, the Force will be with you always.